Right now, as we speak, millions of fish are fleeing their ancestral homes in the biggest mass migration in Earth's history. They're racing toward the poles at 70 kilometers per decade. That's faster than most human migrations. This isn't just about fish. It's about a complete reorganization of ocean life that will reshape global food systems, trigger international conflicts, and change our planet forever. The world's oceans are experiencing the most dramatic species reshuffling in millions of years. Fish and marine animals are moving into new territory at a rate of 70 kilometers per decade. But here's what makes this story absolutely unprecedented. Since 1970, global sea surface temperature has increased by around 1 degree Fahrenheit, making the ocean warmer today than at any time since record-keeping began in 1880. That might not sound like much, but for marine life, it's catastrophic. Researchers from the University of Glasgow analyzed 115 species across all major oceanic regions, examining 595 marine fish population responses. What they found was shocking. Marine animals are responding to climate change 7 times faster than land animals. The Gulf of Maine tells the most dramatic story. Over the last decade, it has warmed faster than nearly every other tract of ocean on Earth. The result? Sailfish have been caught in Cape Cod Canal, a tropical species that has no business being in New England waters. But the real crisis is happening in the tropics. Large numbers of fish will disappear from the tropics by 2050, leaving millions of people who depend on local fishing without their primary protein source. Many coastal communities in tropical countries depend on locally caught fish as a vital source of protein. But the fish leaving the tropics are not being replaced by anything. The numbers are staggering. In recent decades, scientists have observed large-scale northward shifts in the Bering Sea, with unprecedented warming and loss of sea ice. The average center of biomass for 157 marine fish and invertebrate species shifted northward by nearly 17 miles between 1989 and 2019. What's driving this massive exodus? It's not just temperature. Climate change is launching a 3-pronged assault on marine life: warming water, ocean acidification, and deoxygenation. As oceans absorb carbon dioxide, they become more acidic, threatening organisms that build calcium carbonate shells. Meanwhile, warm water holds less oxygen, creating expanding dead zones. The economic implications are enormous. In polar regions, fishing operations have increased by 30 to 70%, favoring countries like Norway, Iceland, Russia, and Alaska. In tropical areas, fishing operations have reduced by 10 to 40%. This is creating unprecedented geopolitical tensions. Here's where it gets really concerning. New fish species will enter the waters of at least 70 countries by 2100, challenging the regulatory framework for managing fishing rights and potentially leading to international conflict. We're talking about fish fights between nations as species cross international boundaries. A shocking new study found that fish species moving rapidly toward the poles are actually declining in abundance, contradicting the assumption that migration helps species survive climate change. These populations are struggling to adapt to their new environments, with some experiencing 50% population declines over a decade. The most heartbreaking part? Many marine species have very narrow livable temperature ranges, making even small differences in water impossible to cope with. Marine life changes caused by global warming have been up to 7 times faster than animal responses on land. We're witnessing the largest reorganization of ocean life in Earth's history. By 2030, climate change will force 23% of shared fish stocks to move from their historical habitats. The question isn't whether this will happen, it's already happening. The question is whether we can adapt our management systems, international agreements, and food security strategies fast enough to prevent chaos. This isn't just about fish, it's about the future of our planet's food systems and global stability. What do you think should be done to manage this crisis?